Well, hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers here today. I'm Fiona Lang Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, we've been talking recently about our Gold Neonatal Conference, which is coming up very soon here at Gold. Of course, it starts on May 26th. So that's the definitely to mark on your calendar. You want to be sure that we have all of you there for that day for our opening keynote with Dr. Michael Narvi. Of course, he's going to be presenting at that conference. So you can go to the Gold website right now at goldneonatal.com. All the details are going to be on there. And of course, sitting down with me today, I'm very excited, Naomi Bar-Yam. Welcome back to Gold Neonatal. It's always so good to have you be part of the Gold
Thank
family
you.
here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, and Naomi, first of all, I have to say I miss you because I haven't seen you in a while, and I know when we
Wow.
catch up in person, it's always great just to connect and see what's happening. So this is the next best that we can do right now, right? I sit down with each other and chat, and of course, we're going to include all of our Gold family today as we talk through some of the things that are happening. Why don't we start off by having you introduce yourself? So a quick reminder on where you are in the world. Remember, we've got our international audience here today. So tell folks where you are and what are you up to these days? What are you doing?
My name is Naomi Bar-Yam. I am the executive director of Mother's Milk Bank Northeast. So I am in the Boston area in Massachusetts, in the United States, and we are sequestering ourselves as best as we can and keeping as safe as we can while keeping our operation at the milk bank running so that even while we keep safe, we can get milk to the babies who need it
Oh,
so that they
wow.
can also be safe.
Excellent. So I imagine you've had to think through all and probably been answering lots of questions, have you, about milk banking and COVID-19? Has that been
Yes.
something that you've been working on as well?
Yes, there's a lot of questions that come up both from moms who want to donate their milk and moms who and families who are really thinking about using donor milk for their babies, and also who are a little bit concerned about feeding their own babies,
Mm,
breastfeeding their own babies, having nothing to do with donor milk, just whether they should be feeding their
right.
own babies or can the COVID transmit through milk. So the short answer is, to our knowledge, with some amount of research, COVID does not transmit through milk. It transmits through the air, um,
Right.
through breathing. It's a lung problem.
Yeah,
It's a breathing
respiratory.
problem. It's a
Yeah,
respiratory problem.
yeah, absolutely.
So you can definitely breastfeed your baby. If you have symptoms and want to breastfeed your baby, you should wear a mask and keep your hands clean, and make sure you're very careful if you're pumping milk. But definitely, you should be breastfeeding.
Absolutely. And I've seen that the World Health Organization has been producing some really good content
Yes.
to keep folks up to date on all of this information with some security. Because I think at the beginning, and I know we're still in the midst of research. So, folks, stay tuned and we're looking at everything. But the good news is it looks like we've got some really positive research coming out
Hmm.
of looking at breast milk. I know there's some folks doing research on that milk as well, just to break it all down. So, I mean, there's lots of things happening, Naomi. It seems like, I mean, it's a busy time for a lot of folks working in this
It
field.
is. It
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah,
is because
absolutely. And
yeah.
then, of course, it was great. I was talking to Dr. Michael Narvi last week, and he was talking about the neonates that we have and some of the recovery rates and those little tiny fragile infants. So it'll be
Mhm.
good to see what's happening there. Things are looking good, though. So, I'm really positive. I think one of the things I love about you so much, Naomi, is the years and the time that you've put into this industry in this field. And you guys can all go to the website and check out how many years it's been. But I have to
Been a
say
long
that
time.
one of the things that I really appreciate about you is honestly just your consistency and the fact that you are always evolving as well. So not only do you give a great message, but you also have evolved with the times. You're keeping us up to date and talking about that. So kudos to you for staying strong there. It's been a life passion for you, I believe.
Thank you. It is. It is. From personal experience, professional experience, absolutely.
Oh, yes. And that was something we were talking about earlier is just how some of us are impacted through a professional experience, but lots of us who are in the profession have also been impacted through personal experiences too. Is that something that you get to talk about a fair amount?
Yes, I mean, each of us has our own story
Mm-hmm.
about how we entered the field in general. I mean,
Right.
how we entered this particular part of the field. And I have a story, and when we started the milk bank back in 2006, we had each person involved had her own story of
Right.
why she was involved and what this meant to her. And that definitely deepens the commitment. It also deepens our knowledge and experience and our ability to communicate with others.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's different. Those different perspectives, I think, are
Hmm.
are so unique. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's got a similar story, but it's a unique story, and it doesn't take away from those who are professionals who don't have those stories either. I think that there is a balance,
Hmm.
and I we were talking as well about how things have changed. Now, I was very positive, saying like I feel like NICUs have gotten more, definitely have gotten more noticeable. The research seems to be coming in
Hmm.
more fluidly now, but that was my perspective. You're really knee deep in this. Tell me, what's your perspective and what's happening in the field right now?
I think that indeed the research is just blossoming. There's just a lot of research in so many bench research, clinical research,
Hmm.
sci- psychological, all kinds of research
Right,
on the NICU experience. And part of that is that we have babies who are smaller and smaller that we can help and that we can
right.
save. And
Yeah,
so that's all. That's all good. That's all terrific.
absolutely.
There are babies alive now who, had they been born even when I first started in this field, wouldn't be
Hmm.
here.
Yeah.
So that's all very exciting, and research is a crucial piece of that, and applying that research to the field is the other kind of crucial piece. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think about my NICU baby, who just happens to be 25 today. It's his birthday.
Happy
Uh,
birthday. Happy
yes, I
birthday to
know.
you too.
And so, but I was very blessed in my experience to have known staff to be able to get there ahead of time. But 25 years ago, things were different.
Yeah.
And we didn't have access to as much donor milk. It was very challenging. Not everybody was on the same page. There was that sort of disjointed, sometimes behavior I felt, and this this started thinking about your presentation,
Yeah.
and that it, so your presentation is titled "A Place at the Bedside: NICU Families on the NICU Team." So this totally reminded me of my experience, that I felt like overall I had a good experience, and I'm truly grateful, like so many of us are, right? But it was disjointed. Not everybody was on the same page. I got folks telling me one thing and someone
Yep.
else saying another, right? But are we doing better? And what are you going to be sharing? Just give us a little insight to what's going to be happening during your presentation.
So I think we are doing better. I
Mhm.
cannot guarantee that people with babies in the NICU today are not still getting some mixed messages. Those things
Mhm.
happen. Research is funny that way. Um, but what we'll be talking about really is, what is the role of the partnership between parents, families, and um, healthcare providers who are caring for this baby. I think that's evolved hugely
Right.
since your baby was born, since my NICU babies were born. There's really a much greater awareness of how crucial the role of parents is, both in the NICU and in once the baby gets home,
Mm.
and how the babies do better when they get home if parents have been directly involved in the care in the NICU. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we were talking about how sometimes, for families, anyways, it's not until after the fact that they really can recall some of the things that they wish they had
Hmm.
there'd been more engagement with, or they had known more about. And so, of course, it's a very traumatic time for a lot of folks, and they're busy just focusing on the elements of care, management, survival in a lot of cases,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of time to be sort of negotiating, so to speak, about what you want or what your needs are, because there's a very clear focus. So how is the research collected about families in NICUs? Is there like programs where they can do surveys afterwards, feedback? What happens with all that information that folks have retroactively?
So there is research going on. There's always active, studies and looking at people's NICU experiences.
Hmm.
And I think all of that is informing how hospitals work with families in the NICU. I think also they're also beginning to, we worry about patient privacy. On the other hand,
Hmm.
having NICU families in touch with one another is really important. Not
Ah,
only NICU families
right.
who are currently in the NICU, because they're also often in the same space and in the same
Hmm.
mindset. And what they really need is people who've come out the other end,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
their babies are okay and growing, and those families can think about what they would have wanted and can at least pass that information on to others. So creating those opportunities for NICU families to stay in touch with one another over time is
Hmm.
also increasing, and that's being
Mm.
done not even just in the time of COVID, but in general, that's also being
Sure.
done a lot online and
Hmm.
electronically, because there's people everywhere who have
Yeah.
these experiences, and the more we can share them and learn from each other, the better for
Excellent.
everybody.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, that I mean, I'm just having all these warm feels about this right now because I'm like, yes, of course, that makes sense, to really build those relationships. It reminded me of the relationships that I fostered in the NICU at the time, all those years ago, and those families. I'm like, where are they now? But I had a
Mhm.
lot of support. We worked together, and always elated when somebody, of course, got to go home. But tell me, so this is my question now, and this is my my last question because I know this is gonna we're gonna run into a while here talking about it. But tell me how this information of supporting parents, connecting them, and making sure that they have everything in need. How does this support the professional? How does this change the outcomes when you're a professional working in the NICU? What's the gain here?
So it's a good question. And I think for hospitals that don't yet have advanced kind of programs with parents,
Hmm.
I mean, I've talked with these people, and there's a nervousness around, I have to deal with the parents too. And what do you mean they're
Right.
going to measure X, Y, and Z and weigh the baby? And they can't do that. But
Mm,
hospitals that do it find that it's a huge help.
right.
It's huge, not only for the parents, but for the staff.
Hmm.
The parents can do a lot. And
Right.
some parents can do more than others. It varies, just like among professionals, it varies. But they can do a lot, and their engagement in what's going on makes things run a whole lot more smoothly and helps get the
Mm,
babies growing more quickly and stronger and getting out of the hospital sooner, which is what we all want.
outcomes. Outcomes,
Outcomes,
right? The outcomes are
outcomes,
better. Yeah.
better
Wow.
outcomes. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, I honestly, I can't think of a better way to end this right now because this is the teaser, folks. Come and listen to some more. Naomi's going to be with us live, right? So you're going to be with us here at the GOLD Neonatal Conference on Monday, 8th of June. Okay, so all of you listening in right now, mark it on your calendars. Of course, go to the website, check out just for local times, but you will have an opportunity, just like I've had today, to sit down and listen and chat with Naomi here about what's happening and share. Like we talked about wanting to share and collaborate with our delegates and learn more from them as well. Naomi, correct?
Absolutely. And I never give a talk like this without coming out with new ideas for myself too. We all learn together, and I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for
All
sitting down with
right.
me here today, Naomi. It's been great chatting with you.
Thank you. I'm looking
And
forward to this. It's going to be
yeah,
great.
and thank you so much to all again, our Gold viewers. Don't forget to check out the website at goldneonatal.com for all the details about our Gold Neonatal Conference and our keynote opening us up on, of course, May 26th. We'll look forward to seeing you there. And if you want to pop a comment down below and let us know what you're planning to do with this conference, maybe you've got a question for Naomi already, or maybe
Great.
you've got some really great ideas. Don't forget to share them down below. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Bye bye for now.
Bye.